hello. Assalamu alaikum. Diano, Pakar Lady, Hamaj, Shumme, Washmaleo, hi, Gonzaimas, hi, hugs and hellos to all those people who are tuned into PT World, PTV Global, and are watching World this morning alongside Shazad and Maha. Hello, Maha, how are you?
I was okay until you usurped my hello. I was supposed to say hello today, and he just jumped in there.
Okay, you say hello now.
No, it's too late.
Okay, I'll take my.
There's no point saying double hellos.
I'll take my words back.
Because then, we're wasting time. But no, I'm very good today. I mean, I'm better today. Like, it's been like a difficult couple of weeks and stuff because I don't know. I think the weather and then just kind of things that are changing in life.
How do you feel when something annoys you, or for example, you have to wait for something?
Or if I don't get my way.
Or if you didn't get to say hellos just at the start of the show.
I get annoyed. I get agitated.
You get agitated?
Absolutely. And something happens, like the chemicals and the things release, and I can feel the agitation. I'm like, oh.
Thank God you didn't say that you were going to stab me this time as well. But
you're getting television.
You're getting better day by day. And Ma, this is what we are discussing today as well. We're talking about anger management. We're talking about impatience. We're talking about intolerance.
Because you know how I said, like, things have, like, life throws lots of curveballs and things at you, or like life just throws life at you. And then there are ways of handling it. And if you don't, then it can actually have a really detrimental effect on your life and, the quality of your life. Yeah. So like all our lives, because as you guys know, my father's a psychiatrist. So we've always been trying to find ways to ease life or, kind of handle our personalities or our characters. And it's taken me a while, but I've always tried different sports activities. You guys know I started MMA.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to do that.
And you're running too now these days.
I'm running, which really suits me. But I found one activity which really speaks to me, and it helps my patience, my anger, and actually it's made my quality of life better. Yes. And do you know what it is?
What?
Boxing.
Boxing?
Yes.
Oh my
I've been doing boxing for like 3 weeks, and it's absolutely amazing.
I think we need a bigger couch now, guys. I mean, for all my producers who are out there, we need a bigger sofa, because if she plans to punch me, I think
not
I
on
probably
television.
have to sit a bit beyond from her as well.
No, you're never on record, dude.
But then at the same time, whenever you talk about anger management, it gets difficult to discuss about it because of the fact that half of the time when you know that you're angry, you cannot manage it.
Exactly, because you're in a different state of mind. Things aren't looking how they should be if you were more, kind of at peace with things. So to discuss the situation of anger management, how do we do it? Because life is different now. There are more stresses, especially with the phone and the media and all these things. Everything is there to kind of get us up on edge and get our emotions and, get us our feelings heightened.
Because if life gives you lemons, all you need to do is probably make limca out of it. That's it, and have it.
Okay, great. So let's introduce to you our guests. We have been joined by Dr. Aiza Abid, who is an educational psychologist. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Besides Dr. Aiza Abid, we've been joined by Ms. Shazia Ismat, who is an educationist. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming over.
Besides Ms. Shazia, we've been joined by Sikandar Faruqi. He is the country director for Canadian Educare System. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Besides Sikandar, we have been joined by Salman Farooq, who is a corporate trainer. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
And he's always got a smile on his face as well. I've never ever seen him, even probably moving his toe as well, as if he's waiting for something. So I think we'll start the conversation from you as well. How can we actually box it? How can we say that anger management is this?
Actually, it's all to me. But first of all, thank you. First of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm glad to be back. And thanks for the compliment at the same time. I should come here more often to get these compliments.
You can do that to us too as well.
We'll do that after the show, yeah.
Actually, to me, it all comes down to personal, to person. If we have become more selfish people and more individualistic, I think that's when we become more impatient. On the other hand, if you think about other people first, more than us, I think that makes it much easier to handle these things.
Okay, that's a really interesting take on it. Now I'm like, oh gosh, I think I'm quite a selfish person. Okay, let's move on to Dr. Aiza. Like in psychology, what is the difference between being patient, impatient, anger? When does it go from impatience to anger? How is it all interlinked?
What are the clinical differences?
Okay, let's start with just accepting anger, impatience, patience. These are natural qualities of human beings. So it's okay. I would like to be everyone to be comfortable and understand it's okay to get angry. It's okay if my spouse or my friend or my coworker is angry. So let's understand that first.
Why did you say coworker?
Well, for people who are working.
Because it is okay for your coworkers.
Because of their because we have, you know.
They know what conditions I work in.
So once we understand that these are all natural feelings, and let's move on to the next point and not feel bad about them, and be angry with us or castigate ourselves or whatever, and punish ourselves. Let's not beat us. Okay, I'm bad, I'm this, and let's not go down that whole path, and let's just say, okay, I get angry, so let's do something about it. So anger is a very natural emotion which comes up sometimes because of the factors around you, and sometimes of whatever is inside you. So it can be a mental
mixture of both.
It's a mental and a physical process which is happening, and it leads to a specific pattern of behavior. It is motivated by some trigger. Usually there's a trigger. So it can be like something, you are getting late for something, somebody didn't come up to the commitment, and sometimes when you're moving towards a goal, you have something in your mind. You want to go, for instance, you are driving somewhere and you have to reach a place, and there's a lot of traffic on the way, and that is effectively hampering you from your goal. So you are honking the horn and everything, and so that's if it's a regular pattern, then we need to do something else about it. But sometimes it happens. So the next step is, okay, I'm getting angry. These are just feelings. So let's not be reactive, and let's not be abusing the driver who's coming in or whatever. So let's understand that these are just feelings which are stopping me from achieving my goal.
Yeah, because half of the time in the morning when you see people driving, they're honking from their mouths as well.
See, the thing is, exactly. So I've stopped from like the honking and like the throwing my hands to just kind of saying things, because then I'm just standing there and just talking, because it's better. But then when people see you, it's kind of embarrassing. Okay, so so we've seen the reaction, so now we need to do something about it. But the thing is, in order to do something about it, we need to realize that we have it.
That is the key.
Now, one thing which I've noticed, I think people, listen, let's stop making this about ourselves, all right?
I'm not making it about ourselves.
We've seen within,
I'm enjoying it.
We've seen within Pakistan, like, let's take it from the Pakistan standpoint, is that we are quite impatient. There's extra stresses, like, you have financial issues, you have security issues, you have, not security just in physical security, but job-wise, maybe food-wise. So how do we handle all these things? Because there are a lot of external triggers within Pakistan.
Because then your wife goes, she buys a branded bag, and then she wants to shop.
If you can afford that.
She should shop somewhere else as well, just in a day's time. That'll be too much for a guy like me.
There's something what we say gratification, and there's instant gratification and there's delayed. Like the Freudian theory, when the child cries and you immediately, and again my pet topic is parenting, how we raise our children and how we eventually become adults ourselves. So we are in a hurry. The minute a child cries, we rush to satisfy his need, and then as the child grows up, we say, "Jaldi karo," hurry up, eat quickly. And I always ask, okay, what's the hurry? So we are actually teaching impatience and not being pacing ourselves, not being calm ourselves. So that's where it stems from.
Okay.
Now, secondly, when you learn to delay the pleasure, so then you can understand, and then you can work towards a goal calmly.
Okay.
But if you are trained to have whatever you want immediately as a child, then it's very hard to wait. And if you say, I want this toy, and parents, okay, I'll give it to you now. And then the parents start stressing out if they can't afford it, and they take the burden and the attention, and they're transferring to the child that they can't give it. So instead of teaching the child lots of values, they're again, in a way, setting him up for frustration.
Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah.
Eventually, what it turns into is, I want to marry this girl or boy, and why can't I marry? Okay, I want this job, why can't I have this job?
I just need it.
I just need it, and I want my way. And so this impatience and anger, the roots go back.
Let's see what ma'am has to say about it as well, since you have been in the field of education as well, and then quite a lot of students and then kids at the same time. First of all, obviously it's a tough job for all the teachers out there. But then what Dr. Saiba said, would you agree to that or not? Because half of the time this is what parents do.
I absolutely agree whatever Dr. Saiba just said. And again, first thing is, as she said, acceptance. We must accept that everybody has got feelings. That's a human feel. Everybody feels happy, anxious, emotional, angry, sad. So yes, but you know, early childhood children, they do not understand these feelings. They just sometimes express it. Sometimes they do not know how to even express it. But then in school, what we try to do, that we try to make them understand what feelings are. We tell them about their emotions with placards, with different things. And then we try to guide them that what feelings are better for them, how they feel when they are happy, how they feel when they are angry. So we try to help them in telling them how to go about it.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of, you know, from your approach, there's counseling. That's counseling, basically.
Basically making them understand that it is all right, we all have all the feelings.
Exactly.
So the no feeling is bad feeling, but how to express it and how to take it along.
Now, but seeing that you've been in the education system for a while, you know, we've also had a lot of people from the education system within our show as well, teachers, principals, etc. But this means that, you know, taking time out, grooming the child, talking about their personality. How prevalent do you think it is across the schools within Pakistan that they are teaching kids these things, that they're saying, look, assess yourself, reflect on your personality, your character, who you are. Are they doing that or not?
Look, I can't say that everybody is doing it, but I think most of the schools, and I would say most of the aware schools who knows that how are they going to take their children, because the schools, they are actually need output. And an angry child and an impatient child would not give them that outcome which they are looking forward to. So that's why I think most of the schools are working on it. But then again, it's not only the school, as she just said, parenting.
Absolutely.
Because with us, children are mostly, I mean, in Pakistan, 4 to 5 hours maximum, and rest of the time they are at home. And we do not know when they are coming to school, which mood are they coming in.
That's very true.
Probably did they have their breakfast or not, or was mama still in
that's
hurry?
when I was working in the ground.
Absolutely. Or maybe they didn't have enough sleep. As simple as that.
Sometimes it is that even as an adult, it's as simple as not having enough sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
Now let's see how it is in the corporate world as well. I mean, how do you see it?
Right. So before we hang in the further detailed discussion, it is imperative to make the comparative analysis between the Western society and here, right? Like ma'am was telling something that this is happening in the Pakistan. Well, it's based upon my personal observation and experience. Those problems like social security, job security, and anxiety, depression, and all those things, it is not pretty much linked or hooked up only with the Pakistan or the list 12 countries. It is happening everywhere in the world.
It's happening to humans.
Everybody, right? So how to manage that? That's a kind of the main concern now, right? As per according to my personal observation and experience, the best way to manage your anger is that first of all the acceptance and realization that this is happening, right? It's a quite a natural and psychological phenomenon. You cannot deny that. But how to manage that? That's a moment where you need to take a psychological assistance from someone. To be very honest, right? It's not something that is like kind of the self-assistance or the self-support, which is putting you on the right track.
If we could do ourselves, we wouldn't have this conversation, right?
Seriously,
absolutely.
And that acceptance is going to put us on the right track for making this thing happen in our personality. Because to me, anger is a kind of like the part of emotion, right? It is not going to take us on the wrong track unless it becomes uncontrolled. So when it is getting on the wrong
I think
track,
we're talking about that.
I
think we're talking about the fact that nowadays, like I have seen, like, you know, we are more irritable, we are more snappy. I mean, I've seen it in myself, especially this year. I do not have any patience for anything. But I want to move on to
and if by chance I say a word, we're making it about ourselves. That's so wrong, Maha.
So I'll do what I want, Shazan. Mrs. Salman,
let me manage her anger today.
Yeah, please do. Mrs. Salman, let's bring you into it. As Sikandar rightly said, that in this day and it's more difficult to manage it ourselves, and you know, the wife will have problems, the husband will have problems, so it's hard to maybe connect together. But from the corporate side, how do these anger management problems affect people in their working capacity?
And how is our society different too? Because of the fact that we have got a very common phrase, "Jahan do bhande hote hain, wo bachte to zaroor hai." I mean, wherever there is crockery, you know, they'll probably, touch together or whatever, cling together or probably bang together as well. So this is a very common phrase within our society. So they say that they fight. that's not a problem. You fight just because you get angry, right? West does not let this happen.
Yeah.
They do not kill each other, probably. You know,
They
you do not
talk
hear.
it out.
Well, that's debatable, but let's ask Mr. Salman first.
I'm lucky enough. I'm sorry. I'm lucky enough that I've spent most of my life overseas, and I'm spending many years over
And
here.
we'll be so lucky if you'll be a bit louder.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to make you lucky.
Thank you.
Is that I can see that both societies that how the differs are, and you're right. Over there, they don't kill each other, obviously, in the workplace, but it's still there over there. But I guess the societies will be more educated, more literal, so they take it out and talk about it and things like that. And the same thing I believe in. We need to do at workplace, and it is there. First of all, as everybody said, and I agree that being it's there, we accept it and then recognize it and then try to work with that. At corporate world, it is obviously day-to-day things, and because we have to realize that there are so many challenges everybody's facing. When somebody comes to work, they probably has 10 different challenges before they came to work. So knowing that, and then it helps me, and I try to tell everybody also, that first thing, as I mentioned in the beginning, that if we think about other perspective first, that look, just remember the person they're talking to is probably going through 10 different issues in his or her life. So learning that to me is a big, you can achieve a lot by just learning other person's issues and problems.
Well, that is a great
There's
deal.
a lot about to do with communication. 'Cause
Communication
You
and-
don't know
yeah.
what someone's going through until they tell you.
And the second thing, yes, so first
And half of the time, they're not even willing to tell you as well.
you're right. But
Because people they're private. They
Okay,
don't
so this is what I want to
Yeah.
bring it. This
So
is
first
what
of all,
let someone.
I'm sorry.
finish.
First of all, obviously, is to me is always caring about that person. So if you truly care about that person, that helps. And number two is listening. If you just sit down and listen to that person, and that really solves a lot of problems. And third thing on that is that in corporate world that I try to practice that too. If there's certain things comes that you like, बर्तन एक दूसरे को लगने लगे, and then you're about to bang each other. At that point, I never react. And I advise
Someone
that
has
you need
to
to wait, absorb, wait, and if the issue that you can wait and sleep on it, next day you have totally different perspective.
No, but this is an exercise which you'll have to go through again
Yes,
and again,
practice.
and then obviously you will achieve it.
Yes.
And you need
And you-
patience for that.
Yes.
Exactly. But then at the same time, half of the time, what happens is that you realize it when you almost done.
After you've spilled the milk, you're like, oops.
Oh,
I
sorry,
shouldn't
man.
have done
Sorry,
that.
I didn't intend to
Okay,
do that.
But this is what I'm bringing on to you. Like, as you said, that it's about expressing yourself, it's about communication, and sometimes, especially in this day and age, you now need to speak to people. People can't deal with everything by themselves. However, within Pakistan, like you said, it's an international, global phenomenon. It's not just a Pakistan, but we're in Pakistan, so we focus on Pakistan. I'm not going to sit here and talk about how British people should be living their lives. We're talking about how Pakistanis should be doing it. So within Pakistan, going to a psychologist, going to a therapist, these things, they're getting better. People are getting more educated, but there is stigma attached to it. If someone finds out that a girl or boy has been seeing a psychologist, oh, वो तो पागल है, or they're this or they're that. Now, how do we get over that? Because we realize the importance of communication, yet we are not willing to communicate with the right people. And if you communicate with your families or your friends, then there is that judgmental or religious or cultural difference within that too. So how do we manage it?
And then even if you have to get angry, at least get angry over something. People have so meager issues that, for example, somebody's not giving you a bit of space to just walk around. Okay, they'll start fighting. Somebody's not, discounting you in a bit of fare. They'll start fighting.
Okay, let's understand it in the cultural context. Here we have so many classes, and that superior thing that if a well-dressed person comes in, he gets attention straight away, and then the other one says, don't you know who I am? So that gets things moving, and with that, we have that value ingrained in us that we will get attended to straight away. And that then transmits into every sphere of life. That's one thing. Secondly, in here what we do is the males are listened to. I have encountered this in so many times in my life that you see, whether you're in a hospital or in any place, sometimes I would ask my husband, please come and talk to them because they are not listening to me what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the male is actually listened to. Now, at the same time, when the male speaks, no one speaks up. So if the husband, if the father is angry, nobody can tell him, okay, you are disturbing the environment.
But it's different with husbands.
I
though.
don't know. Like, my dad.
So it works in a counterproductive way,
Yeah.
that when a person is angry, head of the house or the boss or whoever, so
true,
people
actually.
back off.
They do. The whole mood of the house is affected.
It is affected. Then
Even
your
my mom.
co-workers back off. Then everybody else backs off, and they leave the person alone, and then they don't engage. At the same time, while it saves so many things, the person is getting that feeling, okay, nobody's touching me, see, I'm okay. And that continues, and that is why the anger levels just keep on increasing, and that feeling that whatever I say, whatever I do, I get my way, because then nobody is challenging. And what the person is not realizing, that he is or she is actually isolating himself.
Okay.
So
No, but then with the passage of time, what happens is what I've seen in my life, or what my experiences are, that as people grow, they manage their anger easily then. Because it is quite tough for people who are young, who are vibrant, who are enthusiastic about things, and then they just want to get it done as well. They have that energy. It gets difficult for them. I mean, for Saman Saab, I think it might be very easy to manage all of it, right?
I'm so sorry to contradict that. I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Okay, please tell us.
thank you.
Sure, it depends on person to person, obviously, with the experience and background and all of that. Especially in my case, or people that in my age, I believe, not all of them like that. Some of them are, but most of them not. Especially when you're coming back over here from a different society, different work ethics, different environment, and all of that. I mean, it's just literally, makes it very difficult to even talk and survive even. I just came back 2 months overseas trip. And when I came back, it really had a very tough time for me to adjust.
All right.
So,
Okay, yeah, sorry. go on.
so in my opinion, so it depends on person to person. So age has nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, sometimes even age may be a
Actually, yeah, more, like
maybe
less.
more.
I would
Yeah.
say age is relevant when you said, but not necessarily that
In a positive way.
Yeah, in a positive way, because I feel the personality shapes up in the early years. So
Yeah.
if we control that, and if we diagnose it in the early years, and then we counsel the child, so I think that is when the personality is shaping up during the school years.
Okay, and that's actually, when you speak in generalized terms, which one shouldn't really,
Yeah.
but that is how it goes for most kids. However, due to the nature of the society, the age that we're living in, technological age, social media, the media in itself, things have changed. The factors changed. Now, I know we said not talking about ourselves, but I'm going to have to because that's the only example I have. But as in, one can be a very calm child, very peaceful, not angry, very patient. But then when they are put into the real world, they realize, hold on a minute, this is very different. So people change, their personality change. So what about that? How do we now prepare the kids? Because this is what it's about, anger management and having patience. How do we prepare them to go into this world? Because, I mean, it is very challenging.
But then you don't have to have a whole talk with the child before. You just prepare him for the situation and then deal with the situation as it comes along. And then the children have to learn to fight their own battles. If parents are stepping in for everything which is happening in the school, children will get pushed around, they will get a little bullied. You have to decide the limit at what it's happening. And at certain point, the child stops telling you, but the parents have to be vigilant all the time. So the child has to solve problems by his or herself, and he is learning all this from the way the parents are solving problems in the home.
Okay, that is quite relevant, but then at the same time, what happens is that people do associate a certain image of your personality with your own charisma or character or the way you walk or the way you talk. This is what we want to pick up on, and then how to actually change it, because half of the time what happens is that people say that I was never friends with you because you looked so weird. So I mean, what do you mean by that? I was never ever like that. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this association of the image to the personality as well. We're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. Good morning.
Welcome back, guys, and we had to go for a long break, but before the break, we were talking about perception and anger management, and it's about someone sees you, they have a certain perception or idea of you, but then you are actually quite different in real life.
Yeah.
That can also cause a lot of mismanagement of person's behavior or reactions to things. So how do we manage this? I'll start with you, Dr. Isa.
Well, one thing about staying cool and not being impatient and managing your anger is filtering out a lot of unnecessary things.
How do we do this?
Just think of something else. But if you are reactive to everything that is coming up, you can't control things. So like you said, what image people form of you, they will think and do what they want to do no matter what you are. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you just behave the way you are and be comfortable in your own skin.
But millions of people, millions of lives have been actually lost just because of the fact that log kya kahenge.
जी, बिल्कुल.
See, so that's quite a lot of problem in just these 3-4 words. Log kya kahenge? How do we get rid of this?
And that is the difference between people in Pakistan, the upbringing and the thinking we have towards in the West. We think of what others are saying and we are not internally motivated to do the good thing, the right thing, and be happy with ourselves. We are too worried about the
We're
world.
living for the others. And here I would like to say, if you allow me, is like, I think it's more to do with competition. And if I talk about in perspective of school, like how children, they express and they experience anger and impatience is mostly from the competition which the parents are imposing on them. I mean, there's a grade race that they want their child to be the best in the class. Every parent has got the same and high expectation of the child without realizing where the child's talent lies, what exactly child would like to do. So that pressure which we built upon a child to achieve the maximum or maybe the best is actually a problem for them to cope up.
And I'd like to pick up on this.
Well, I can add something as well.
I wanted to bring you into it, but that's a system.
That's a system.
That that's why the parents are pressured. How are you dealing with it as as a young guy working within Pakistan? How do you deal with it?
Based on
And
my
working for
personal
some other education system as well.
Right. Based on my personal experience and exposure, what is exactly happening at the social life? Indeed, the competition thing is kind of a negative thing, but at the corporate life, indeed, the competition is something which is actually giving us the right path for the success in life.
Yeah.
Internationally, what is happening? They do not intend to do the things at their own. For any kind of the conflict, there is a conflict manager. Previously, there used to be an HR manager in any company, right? But now they have got conflict manager as well. So whatever the problem which is arising in between the colleagues, peers, and other people, it's an anger, it's a depression, anxiety, whatever. They're not supposed to discuss that personal level. Whatever the problem is, if I'm having any trouble with you, I gotta go to the conflict manager, and he's the right person to talk both the flags. And they always have the same policy: listen to the problem first of all from the both sides, and after that give the decision. Instead of asking for their own opinion and making the things prolonged. What is happening here in this particular setup here in the Pakistan here, mostly people try to resolve the things at their own. People do have the answers for all those questions. What are the questions is raising my mind? I got to have an answer as well, and that's a point which is putting us on a very negative track. And sometimes
that's very rightly said that we
Yes,
do need
we're
a
very
person
judgmental
in
at the
between.
same time.
that is true, yeah.
We are judging people all
Okay,
the
now
time.
the thing is, we know all these things.
Yeah.
Every single person in Pakistan knows that we're judgmental, we care too much about other people, we're in competition, we don't do things for ourselves.
We're selfish.
We all know this.
Yeah.
We know the system is, but we're not, why are we socially not changing?
We are not changing because we just like to keep discussing things in a circular pattern. It's an illogical pattern, and we all are doing. And whenever you talk to anyone, it's just going round and repeating more of the same thing. And at any point, you have to stop and break that chain.
Let's see what Sarah has to say about
Yep.
it.
Final words from Sarah.
Thank you.
no
As we're
problem.
talking about how to manage it, I mean,
Yeah.
we are aware of
Very
it.
quickly because we're running out of time as well.
How to manage it, to me, again, it's person to person, but how I always coach and train, and I practice myself. First of all, you have to be comfortable in your own skin without worrying about what the Joneses are doing or saying it. So you need to be comfortable whatever you have, number one. And then you need to be more spiritual yourself to stay calm. That's very important. Whatever religion, faith you have, you must do some spirituality on it. And also physical fitness is a big part of that.
Yeah.
Like you were talking boxing, same thing. I do biking, I do mountain hiking, mountain biking, and those are things, physical exercises, especially in the morning to me, or the best remedy for these kind of anger management.
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch my exercise.
Or just shout out loud. Early in the morning.
No,
just
that
like I
doesn't
do,
help. That
You can
doesn't
do
help.
that if you're
Private.
in
In the shower.
I
Yeah.
think that the technology is taking us away from the real physical exercises. I think the more focus should be on entertainment and mostly on the physical exercises.
Because if you're
like
going to watch
drills
news
and-
all day long, this is what's
Yeah.
happening, that's what's
seriously,
going
Also,
on.
another thing, this
Killer.
causes
News
anxiety. So
anchors.
start
Yeah.
playing
It's the
the
biggest
now.
anxiety, depression
Yeah.
all across the globe, this news and all those things.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
terrible. But we've actually run out of time. Thank you so much for your time. It was a really good conversation. I think we've learned a lot. Now, at the end of the day, you know, we're in this culture. We know where our flaws are, and we just need to work together to get over it.
Exactly.
And it is about communication, but also I've realized lately, too much communication is also a bad thing. So it causes
is.
more problems.
It is. So please switch off your cell phones for a while as well. Give yourself
Yeah.
time and
Airplane
then spend
mode.
time with your own self. You'll be a better human being tomorrow as well.
Yes.
But that can happen today if you feel like it too as well.
Exactly.
Don't forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of,
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
The fabulous repeat is going to be at
11:05 p.m. tonight on PTV World, and wherever you are in the world, just deduct or add the time, hours, and we will be on your screen.
PTV Global. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good
morning. See, that's how you make people happy. Bye. Thank you very much.